Welcome to this second day of the OpenNebula Conf. My name is Ruben, and here with me I have Tino, and we are going to talk a little bit about the next plans for OpenNebula, what is going to happen in the next year, and our big plans for OpenNebula 7. So we always like to start this presentation reviewing what's been for the development team during the last year. In the last year, we mainly fulfill our initial plans. Probably the main deviation was that OpenNebula 7 was planned for this year, but as you heard yesterday, there's been a lot of changes in OpenNebula since last year, and that sidetracked the team a little bit. So we decided to postpone OpenNebula 7 for later this year. During the last year, we made two big releases. 6.8 and 6.10 is going to happen next month. Together with these releases that are public for the community, we also made some releases for side projects that are gaining more relevance in OpenNebula. So we did the release of one deploy, one apps, and one sub, and that we are going to give you some more details about these projects and the future of them in this talk. And we also fulfill our commitment with the enterprise subscription. So we did 5 releases, 6.4.5, 6.4.6, and 3 maintenance release for 6.8 series, 1, 2, and 3. And this is our commitment with the enterprise subscription. We plan to make a release every 2 or 3 months. So basically, we are going to keep this release model that we established last year with 2 big releases in Q2, Q4, and 6 maintenance release for the enterprise. And if needed, we will be releasing some patch or releases also for the community edition if we find some critical bugs. So this being the last year for the development team. As for 6.10, which is going to be our next release, we are planning to make the release by the end of July. And in this slide, you can see the main highlights that you can expect from 6.10. So we, apart from the usual bug fixing that we've been backporting to 6.10, in 6.10 we managed to pack a lot of improvements. So backups have seen a big changes thanks to the feedback that we've been receiving since the introduction in 6.8. So we now you can do incremental backups based on snapshots. Also, a feature that's been requested a lot of time is this in-place restore that is ready and is going to be released in 6.10. Because till now you have to create a new virtual machine when you want to recover a backup. So now you can just replace the disk of these VMs that you want to restore. You can even restore a single disk and keep other disk, and you can. We made some minor improvements, like you can, for example, define where you want to do the backups in the hypervisors in order to solve any storage issues that you may have. Also, PCI pass-through. It's we are working in this area, and probably you will see more improvements in the near future, because as you know. GPUs and virtual GPUs is an important feature that it's gaining a lot of attention lately. So now you can detach and attach PCI devices without the need of creating a new virtual machine. So till now, if you want to attach a PCI device, you basically need to destroy the VM and create a new one. That's been it's now more convenient process, and we hope you find this also helpful for your operations. You can issue recover operations in power off and suspend, and we did some improvements in the multi-tenancy. So now you can input or set generic quotas. This is To cover some use cases that we've been requested in the past. So, for example, you can define a quota for a given template, like golden templates. A given user can only create 5 golden templates, so you can create these quotas yourself and not be restricted to the predefined ones. Also, we added some more restricted attributes for images and virtual networks. And as well, a lot of people has been asking about the Ubuntu 24 Debian 12 support that's going to be released for the community in 6.10. We have a lot of new features as well for Sunstone Web UI, but we are going to talk about this in more details at the end of this presentation. And as I said, this should be ready for the end of July. All right, so OpenNebula 7. This is going to be the first step and the milestone in what we want to be OpenNebula next generation. So our main idea in these first releases of OpenNebula 7 is that we want to focus in improving the end-to-end user experience of OpenNebula. We want to base that in 3 different pillars. The first one is to improve the experience of the installation process. So here we've been developing this one deploy project, which is an automated installation mechanism based in Ansible for different architectures of OpenNebula. We plan to further integrate this and keep improving that. Then in order to ease the installation of new hosts or adding more resources to your CAD, we want to evolve the One Provision project. It's going to be called One Formation, and this is going to be a new project that will allow you to install and add to your cloud new hosts in a simple and coherent way. Also, we want to improve the experience with the operations of your cloud. So one of the things that we want to do is to focus and streamline the experience with KVM hypervisor. We want to complete some of missing operations and all the processes, virtual machine operations, storage operations, or networking operations for KVM virtual machines. We want to give you the best experience in this area. Another important thing that we want to improve is this clustering and federation in order to better accommodate the multi-cloud scenario. So that's something that we are going to improve in the near future, and you're going to see improvements in this area as well. In terms of operation, one of the things that we think is going to get a big impact in the OpenNebula cloud is this AI for cloud. So we are going to develop a new component which is going to call OneAIOps, and this is going to give you some smart operation capabilities for your cloud. Also, we want to improve the monetization, as I will talk a little bit about this in a second. And finally, we want to streamline the usage of the OpenNebula cloud. So we are going to give you, or we are going to work in 2 different areas. The first one is improving or giving more access to contents for your cloud. So the One Apps project that now we have our Kubernetes appliance, One Key, BNF, and some more. That's seen a lot of improvements lately, and that's one of the areas we want to work on. So give you more contents for your cloud. And then FireEdge or Sunstone. So we want to bring you a UI complete experience, when managing, installing, or configuring or operating your cloud through the web UI interface. We want this to be also depth-friendly, so third-party integrations can be adapted. A few words about these projects. So in terms of improving installation and configuration, One Deploy, if you've been following our forum and communication channels, you know that this project is in GitHub. We made a release back in December and a new one in April, and we are targeting another one together with 6.10 at the end of July. One Deploy, for those of you that doesn't know the project, we want to make this project the main installation method for OpenNebula, and it comes with different pre-configured architectures that are really easy to deploy. So you can deploy a storage configuration, you can deploy a local storage configuration or a self-cluster. These Ansible playbooks, they have support for federation or high availability configurations that can be also deployed. And if you want to deploy your front ends in a virtual machines, we got you covered. This one deploy project is also able to install OpenNebula in virtual machines that are created as part of the installation process. The only thing you need to start using one deploy is a set of resources with SSH configure and a base operating system installed, and then you're ready to go. Our plans with one deploy is to further support updates or reconfigurations in the cloud. As I said, it's already published, and you are very welcome to try it and send us your feedback. One formation, that's the other key element that we want to bring for improving the installation experience. This is going to be evolution of the one provision project that you know from OpenNebula 6. And the idea is that you will be able to easily add and configure not only cost, but also other aspects of your cloud. For example, we want to give you the possibility of manage your storage, like, for example, configuring your NFS mounts or any additional networking operation that is not configured to the drivers. So you can actually manage all your OpenNebula low-level configurations for running virtual machines. And we wanted all of this to be integrated with the Web UI, so you can do it all these configurations without even needing the access to the console. This is going to be ready, or we plan to integrate this with the OpenNebula 7.0. So for now, there's no public releases. We are working hard for getting this ready, but yeah, you need to wait for 7.0 in order to try it. About the operation experience, as I said, one of the main issues that some of the users or new users of OpenNebula find is that as we support a lot of platforms, it's not really easy to get a streamlined experience with OpenNebula. So we want to focus on KVM. LXD and Firecracker will be deprecated and will not be releasing any new versions of these drivers. VMware is going to enter legacy mode. We are going to support that in our next LTS release, which means 3 years of support for all of our customers, but we are not planning to add any new feature to VMware. So we are focusing on KVM. LXC is going to stay, and it's going to be the second platform that can be used with OpenNebula in a full feature supported way. We also want to ease the adoption of OpenNebula. So one of the big announcements that we want to say is that we are bringing that back to the community edition demigrators. So if you are an OpenNebula user using the community edition, now you will be able to easily migrate from any version of OpenNebula from the very release time. You don't have to wait, and migrators will be bring back to the community edition with 7.0 release. And also we have a very nice project which is called OneSwap that is able to automatically migrate VMs from VMware. So all of you that are looking for VMware alternatives, OneSwap is our response to that. It's a project that is able to get the VMs and configurations from VMware and import those in OpenNebula. You have specific talks about these components, so you can get a lot more details in those talks. Apart from that, we want to keep improving our storage drivers and bringing to OpenNebula integration with other third-party backup solutions. So we are exploring Veeam integration and other solutions that and include them in OpenNebula 7. One AOPS, that's another big component that is going to be released, the first release with OpenNebula 7. This is the idea is that take advantage of these smart operations for your OpenNebula cloud. So we want you to give you more insight of what is happening in your OpenNebula cloud. So you can, for example, detect anomalies, we are trying to provide you with information that, for example, when you create a given set of PMs that is going to compromise the performance of other PMs. And also we want to give, to bring or implement DRS-like, I mean, a reschedule based on smart scheduling of virtual machine workloads. So the cloud is going to be able to adapt to the workload of the VMs in a smart way. The idea is that we are planning to distribute like predefined trained models, but we are planning to give you the ability to train these models based on the data that you are getting from your own cloud. That's in our roadmap. As I said, the use cases is anomaly detections, use smart placement, or rescheduling. And together with this, as monitoring is an important part, another announcement that we want to make is that the Prometheus Integrated is going to be included in the community edition of OpenNebula. So all our supporters and related code is going to be backported to the community edition with OpenNebula 7. And finally, OneApps. So OneApps is, we release our internal toolchain to create appliances. So you can easily create appliances yourself. So in fact, we are creating a community marketplace. We'll be giving more details as in the course of the next year. But the idea is that people can easily create their appliance, share them with the community, or create them for internal proposals. So for those of you that have been following our standard channels, you know that this project has been released this February. It's public in GitHub, so you can follow the link and grab all the code there. We have also tutorials in order to create them. And we have been also extending the set of appliances that are released. So our one key, which is the Kubernetes appliance, have seen a lot of improvements during the last year. We have a new certified version for 129. We've been doing a lot of improvements in the virtual border appliance with more modules like the VPN wayward module and a few more, and also improving the existing ones. So it's better integrated with the Kubernetes. So we hope the running a virtual Kubernetes and its networking is going to be easy for you now. But also we have new appliances. We have a Min.io. If you want to create your storage appliance based on Min.io, that's already published, and a Docker register based on hardware. So if you're using one key and you want to publish your own Docker images, you can use that appliance. And that's one of the projects that we want to create in order to improve the experience with OneApps using your cloud with more contents. And as I said, the other key element for improving the experience with OpenNebula is the UI interface. So I'm giving the stage to Tino, and he's going to give us a lot of more details about this new implementation of Sunstone.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Well, thanks everyone for attending this session. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the web interface of OpenNebula. That's called Sunstone. Okay, this is the web interface we've been developing for the last 14 years or so. This is the image of OpenNebula that probably most of you are used to, right? When you want to operate either being an admin or an end user, your entry point to an OpenNebula cloud, unless you are fan of the Linux terminal, or you have your own interface, web interface, or you use the API in an embedded solution. But most likely, your entry point to OpenNebula is through Sunstone. Okay. The problem that we have with the current implementation of Sunstone, let's call it Ruby Sunstone, because the server, right, the backend of the current Sunstone, it's based on Ruby. It's that it's being built in what are now obsolete or kind of obsolete web technologies, right? As you know, the web field is very fast-paced, and since its inception, what at the time were like, cutting-edge things like, for instance, jQuery or the use of handlebars, they are now more a burden than anything else to maintain. Okay. Also, the Ruby backend based on Sinatra, although it's a maintained project, but I think it's being superseded by many other Node.js servers, right? This is not the only reason to transition to another web interface, but being over 14 years of development also created a huge technical debt in the Sunstone code. So multiple authors have been contributing to the code, excellent developers, not a complaint there, but at the end, it's very difficult to maintain a code base over these many years using, again, technologies that are obsolete. This is not to say that Ruby Sunstone is an interface that we don't like. On the contrary, we love it. And we think that the design of it, it's very clean. It gives all the functionality, obviously, or most of the functionality that OpenNebula expose through the core API. Okay, but it's time to say goodbye to Ruby Sunstone, right? So we, obviously are going to give an alternative, okay, but we need to deprecate, okay, Ruby Sunstone. So our plan for that is to introduce Ruby Sunstone in 6.10 on legacy mode, okay? So that means that 6.10, which by the way will be an LTS release, so it will be supported for almost 3 more years, and it's scheduled towards the end of July, so there's still plenty of time to still keep using Ruby Sunstone in a supported way. However, we are going to freeze the functionality of it. So new features that we'll be adding to OpenNebula will only be available through the new interface, okay? And the new interface, it's the FireEdge Sunstone, okay? I think this deserves a bit of clarification. So these names, we are going to keep Sunstone as the name of the web interface of OpenNebula, okay? And FireEdge makes reference to the backend, to the server, okay, of this Sunstone frontend, okay? FireEdge will be also serving other web interfaces, like, for instance, what now it's called the One Provision graphical user interface. This is also served by FireEdge, okay? So that's why we usually refer to the new version of Sunstone as FireEdge Sunstone, okay? But by the time the transition is complete, we'll be referring to the web interface again as only the Sunstone web interface, okay? So, FireEdge Sunstone. Well, I'm glad to announce that we achieved feature parity already with Ruby Sunstone. So in the development branch of the GitHub repository, if you want to compile it, you'll find out that this new web interface covers all the functionality of Ruby Sunstone. So it's ready to replace the web interface for your end users and administrators. Okay, we are building based on, well, modern web technologies, a Node.js server based on the React framework. We are going to use Guacamole for BNC, RDP, and SSH connectivity through the console. And also we are using WebSockets for dynamically update the state of resources in the web interface. Okay. Again, this is a fully featured Sunstone that will be available in 6.10, and after 6.10 is published, we'll be hard at work about improving aspects in FireEdge Sunstone. Now that we have a modern code base, it's much easier to change the look and feel, and especially the user experience, right? Where in Ruby Sunstone, any of these undertakings were nearly impossible due to the current state of the code base. Okay, so we are going to work hard, especially on these two aspects, look and feel, and especially user experience, to provide a streamlined way of consuming and managing OpenNebula resources. Okay, so that's what we wanted to share with you in terms of the next generation of OpenNebula, the future releases and roadmap. Okay, I want to end by thanking our sponsors, Stacks, One Solutions, and Storepool. Thanks for trusting us over the course of the last years. And also, obviously, we want to thank our community of users and contributors, because OpenNebula wouldn't be the same without you. Okay, so thank you very much for attending the conference. We hope that you have a great experience and you learn and get a lot of insights for managing your OpenNebula clouds. So enjoy the rest of the conference, and thanks for attending.
Thank you.